All right, good evening. I will call to order the meeting for the Hampton Township Council for Wednesday, October 8th, and we will start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Blackburn? Ms. Fritsch?
Present.
Mr. Midgley?
Present.
Mr. Scholley?
Present.
Dr. Johnson?
Present.
Mr. Speakman?
Ms. Blackburn's absence is excused this evening. All right, I'm going to add one item to our agenda before we start with the administration, and that is going to be a fun little event. Al, if you could please step to the microphone.
Good evening, council and others. Thank you for allowing me to speak briefly. I am a 25-year resident of Hampton Township, and I've been very grateful for the first responders in our community for various things that I personally have benefited from, and it is my honor to have a picnic for them every year, just to say thank you for their service and whatnot. And one of the things I truly enjoy doing is I tried to have some good-spirited competition between the groups, and as I usually do, there was a tug of war that occurred. This was a single elimination, and unfortunately the firefighters were the first to be eliminated, which left our EMS services against the police department. I don't see Mr. Schmidt at the moment, so I guess I can talk about him a little bit. And so it was 4-on-4, and we had the police lined up against the EMS. And I'll just sidebar observation as I look to the police force. Well, just say it appeared there was a little more beef on that side of the rope overall than on the other side. So I thought it would end quickly, but to my surprise, the young first responders stepped up. It was close, so it went back and forth a lot, but. I'm here with my colleague Kelsey to present this tug of war champion. Is there a member of the EMS or someone that it might, would you like to accept it on their behalf?
I would take it as a default that we won because they were not here. They didn't show up.
There was some protest filed official by the chief, and it's under review at the moment. So Chief,
Yes, I will.
Could we take a picture, please?
Yep.
Well, you're board member.
You're their finance. So is he.
If he's not here, you might be correct. I'll let the council.
I'll put it on the shelf.
We'll send him the picture right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your
Thanks
support.
very much.
We thank you for your time, and again, I just want to make sure that everybody knows how grateful members of the community are for their service. We have a terrific set of first responders, so thank you for the time.
We do, and thank you for hosting that picnic for them every year.
Happy to do it.
Thank you.
All right, we will start with administration. Item A, please.
Yes, during our strategic planning meeting, we had talked about looking at our recreation fees sort of comprehensively in terms of whether or not they're really covering the operating costs for facilities, programs, and the like. In discussions with Melanie Martino, who's here tonight, we really decided to, in looking at them and looking at the entire fee schedule, the community center fees were really the ones where we had to do some tweaking and some updating to reflect, covering the actual costs of the operations of that facility as well as equipment that we're talking about leasing for it as well. So I'll turn the floor over to Melanie, and she can give her presentation.
Thank you. So if it's okay, I'll just start by reading the memo that I included in the council packet, which kind of is a overview of all of the fees that we are looking to adjust for the upcoming year. So the Hampton Community Center is a membership-based facility that offers a yearly membership fee or a daily fee. For our yearly memberships, we do offer a resident fee and a non-resident fee. Memberships for the community center are significantly lower than other community centers and fitness facilities. And the last time that the center memberships were raised was in 2017, and then before then, 2018. The open gym rate was raised in 2019 and was from $1 to $3, and the current fee is $3. From the last time the membership fees have increased, we've seen a 32% increase in the consumer price index. The fee increase we are requesting for the community center memberships is lower than that increase of the CPI. We've been successful with keeping our rates as is through the pandemic and through the past few years when everything saw an increase from utilities to staffing wages. If we did not feel an increase would be beneficial for the longevity of the community center and what we are able to offer our residents and members, we would not be recommending one. However, looking short-term and long-term, it is essential that the community center receives additional revenue to not only offset the operational costs, but also to prepare ourselves for future upgrades of the building, including the fitness center. For a quick background of the fitness equipment, our equipment used to be on a lease. Within the past 5 years, our equipment is no longer leased, and we own all of the equipment pieces. There are benefits and disadvantages of doing this, but with the wear and tear of the equipment as well as its age, we feel that it is no longer the best decision to have not leased fitness equipment. The intent of beginning in the 2026 budget season would be to enter a 5-year lease with G&G Fitness for new fitness equipment for the fitness center. However, we will not be able to pursue this much desired and needed project without a fee increase. For example, the revenue received by memberships will barely cover the yearly cost of the lease, leaving no additional revenue for memberships to go towards any operating building costs. In addition to this, it is a budgetary goal and objective for 2026 to evaluate if the Hampton Community Center could participate in the Silver Sneakers program and if it is a financially responsible decision to do so. While we are still awaiting if we would be approved for a Silver Sneakers Center, including the reimbursement options, it may be necessary to raise fees to compensate for the loss of revenue by seniors participating in this program. I provided for you in the council packet costs of other community center and fitness centers for your review. In addition to this, I've included the comprehensive fees for the Parks and Recreation Department from ordinance number 841. The fees that were noted in red are the only recreation fees we're looking to change. Aside from the community center memberships and the daily fees, it is also recommended to increase the indoor family swim program from $4 to $5 per evening. And this would be strictly to cover the cost for the lifeguards running the program. The third I feel would recommend amending is, is the outdoor pool after-hours private rental fee. For review, the outdoor pool offers an after-hours pool rental on Saturdays and Sundays. There are currently 2 options, an exclusive or a shared rental. The exclusive rental is $500 and the shared rental is $250. If someone books a shared rental, they have one pool pavilion and there's still an option for a second party to rent the second pool pavilion. For an exclusive renter, the renter has both pool pavilions and no other parties will be accepted for the rental date. For a shared rental, there is a maximum of 150 guests per party and there is no maximum for an exclusive rental. For these rentals, the staffing cost alone is around $477. Therefore, we are losing money every time we reserve one of these shared rental pool parties. It is recommended that the proposed fee for an after-hours pool rental be $550 and that only exclusive pool rentals be accepted, and we will eliminate the shared pool rental option. Last, the information regarding community center after-hours rental fees. The fee is currently an additional $32.50 per hour to rent during a period when the community center is traditionally not open. The original intent of this fee was to cover the cost of the building being open past regular operating hours, as well as covering the cost of employees. It is recommended that the fee be $50 per hour, plus the cost of the custodian per hour for any rental that exceeds the regular operating hours of the community center. This increase is to only cover the cost to the township. At this time, we are incurring the cost for any rental like this. I also want to add that when I sent this memo, I forgot to include that the recreational group rental fee, I had also suggested a change that was noted in the ordinance in red, but I do want to mention it right now. This increase is for recreational groups that rent the pool for practices and such. The increase, again, would only be to cover our expenses of having the pool open during non-operating hours. And the biggest cost to us is staffing. The last time that this fee was raised was also in 2017. And from the 2017 until now, there has been about a 25% increase in staffing wages, and we have not increased the fee that we ask the recreational groups to pay. So thank you for allowing me this opportunity to provide this information for you. If you have any additional questions, I would be more than happy to provide.
The community fitness membership.
Mhm.
Are you eliminating the youth and college student fee? Is that what I'm seeing here?
So we're looking to do that and just have everything be one fee. So for the adult, that would be the adult fee.
So if you're a college student or a youth under 18, you're paying whatever the adult fee is?
Yes.
I mean, or you could obviously be part of the family package as well, so.
The majority of the memberships for a youth person is normally just the community center. We don't see too many that are fitness, and you do have to be at least 15 to be in the fitness center. So with that, it would just, even though 15 is obviously not an adult, that would be, the rate would be to be in the, to have a single fitness membership.
How many, do you have a lot of college students having the fitness membership?
Now, let me get that information. In 2024,
It was 22,
22?
yeah.
Before I did.
Yeah.
Yes, there were 22 college memberships.
With the, do you plan on expanding the number of pieces of equipment we have? Or keeping the same equipment, just,
So what would we be looking to do in 2016? It would be to expand the equipment that we already have. We had received a proposal from G&G Fitness. I believe it was in probably 2 strategic planning meetings ago on the information in there, and they had itemized things that we would include. More strengthening equipment, free weights also would be included, added as well. So yes, it would be additional equipment, and then obviously it would be newer equipment.
I mean, 80 a year is still a good deal.
Yeah, I know when we talked about it, like just in-house, it's, I mean, I used to be a member up at Planet Fitness, it was $25 a month. You know, the fitness membership under this proposal would be $80 a year for an adult. That's a really good deal.
Less than $10 a month.
Yeah,
Or even when they had their specials, it was, I think, 10 a month.
yeah,
So still better than that.
Planet Fitness does, my high school, my daughters do Planet Fitness, $10, or free in the high, if you're in high school for the summer. And then $10 a month during the school year, but,
It's 90.
yeah.
yeah.
This is, I mean, 80 a year is,
And they also have a yearly, I think it is is it still 35 a year that you have to pay outside of your membership
Yeah.
to keep your rate at the same rate?
Right, and with this, they can go over Christmas break or
yeah,
spring break or whenever they're home, so.
no, it's still a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you had these rates this year, how much money what will be the differential?
Going with last year's membership rates with these rates, it would be an increase of $10,963.
And then what's the new lease for
Oh,
equipment?
I'm sorry, I do apologize. That would just be for fitness. With fitness and community center, it would be $19,381.
$20,000 or so. And then what's the lease for the new equipment cost?
We're looking to do a 5-year lease and $50,000 for each year.
For $50,000 for each year?
Mhm.
So we're still,
Losing money.
Not necessarily. Are we still losing money? A loaded question.
I,
it doesn't,
It
it sounds
would
like
help.
the fee increases aren't keeping up with the cost expenditures. So the costs are
Correct.
outstripping the fees, but the question is how much can we get in fees
yeah,
to
yeah,
help cover that? It's just.
I mean, it's kind of like the pool, we don't expect to make,
But it would be nice to break even.
yeah. And
Or
the,
at least keep up with.
or keep close.
And the only thing I would say is, with outdoor pools, there's the opportunity to possibly break even. With community centers, given the fact they operate year-round, the odds of us ever breaking even in operations is low. I think with the increases that Melanie's laid out, that we've all kind of worked on and that Melanie's laid out here, what you're doing is you're trying to just catch up to, you know, the years since the last fee increase, and I think it does offset a lot of the new a good portion of the new lease for the new equipment, which you could see increased membership from that by chance as well. So, you know, I think that there's I think it's a very practical and pragmatic approach to looking at our fees in the fitness center or in the community center.
And a nice community benefit with a new gym.
Yes.
Yep, yeah. So if we took 2 years of that lease, $100,000, how much equipment could we buy?
So all of the equipment would be at once. So they would install or renovate the fitness area. If it would be approved and go through, our plan was that in 2026, in January, we would go through with it, and then the fitness center would be changed over at the very beginning of summer. The only reason that we asked to do that is because that is when it is the least busy in there.
Yeah.
We don't want to do it in January when everybody's in the exercise area. I can resend all of the equipment. I don't have it with me. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Well, I was
but
just curious, so the lease is $50,000 a year, so we're looking at $250,000 over the 5 years.
Yes.
That's an awful lot of gym equipment, I would think, but I don't know. Like if we were just to buy it and put it in.
to outright buy it would be kind of in the same situation that we are now, that if something would break or anything like that, that would be on us to fix, and that could also get pricey. So it would be better to be on a lease for any equipment.
How is G&G compared to other places to get?
Part of the answer is that 100,000 would buy your current aerobic equipment.
Just replace
Your
what's there.
100,000 could replace the current aerobic equipment, none of the other weight equipment.
So the treadmills and the
Right.
half the stuff, I guess.
Treadmills and ellipticals are running $10,000 to a bit more,
Okay.
especially on the treadmills.
Okay.
And you got 5 of those, you've got 6 ellipticals, and you've got 4 bikes. And those are the ones that really are
What-
most
yeah.
important to have on the lease, because having them on the lease covers the maintenance
Yeah.
agreement on them, whereas the other weight machines, once we satisfy the lease, then we just tend to keep that as a purchase, so you pay $1 to buy it out. And so then you keep recycling the other aerobics, because they are more of the wear and tear and the motorized and the electronics and mechanicals that are on there.
All right, so over 5 years, it sounds like it's kind of a wash.
Yeah. And your current fitness membership revenue would currently you'd probably be ahead of the game of about $10,000 versus the $50,000 per year. So our fitness memberships right now are probably about $60,000 a year. Okay. So you're able to increase, but you're not covering any staff costs, you're not covering any utility costs or anything with that. You're just breaking even on that cost of that equipment.
Off topic, because I know the equipment itself is not at issue right now, but are we just looking at G&G, or have we priced out other places in which to lease equipment from?
So we did go to a couple local community centers. Upper St. Clair was one of them, and Pine is another one that they both use the G&G Fitness. JR, our facilities director, he had used it before in where he previously was. That is who we went with because of what they offered in other places, and the other community centers are basically able to kind of let us know like what they were able to offer, how they were fixing the pieces if they were broke. But no, there has not been another company that we have asked for pricing for.
Yeah, just for a sanity check, it would be helpful to just.
Okay.
G&G's on, the reason you see G&G at these other places, they're on the CoStarz program. They are, as far as I'm aware, they're the only one that really participates in government purchasing for fitness equipment in the area. So, but we can certainly ask around.
So I like everything you put together, Melanie. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Couple points. One would be the community daily guest pass. Why would we decrease that?
We're trying to have our fees be more consistent and more standard. Looking through how many people come in for just a community center day pass, it's very little. So we were just looking to have a consistent fee where if you came in for a daily visit, it was just $5. That is
I see.
not really going to move any sort of revenue or that would come in because it is so minimal of the daily guests that come in. The majority of the people that come in for just a day would be for the open gym.
Can
Got
you
it.
remind me what the community center daily pass gets you as opposed to the fitness pass as opposed to the
Yes.
open gym?
So it is a little confusing. It's all pretty much the same thing. So open gym is just for the gymnasium. If you wanted a community center day pass, then it would be for the track and gym only. And then if you wanted to use the fitness equipment, then that would be the fitness pass. Because it is the same price for a community center day pass or a fitness day pass, it's really not needed to split the two of them up. Just this is a day pass for the community center. This is what you're able to use. Would make a little bit more sense than having pretty much the same thing split up in 3 different ways.
So why not just combine them all into one community center day pass?
So whenever I had put the basically noted in red, it wasn't that we would be keeping it as a community center of fitness. It was just to show what we
okay.
had, and then we would adjust if it would be approved. Then yes, it would just be a day pass for the community center.
And that includes the fitness, right? I don't see
Yes.
fitness as a separate, okay.
It is under community center daily guest pass. There's community center, then fitness, and then the
Oh.
next section down is open gym.
Yeah. But it's not additive. It's not, you have to get the community $5 and then $5 extra for the fitness.
No, it would just be $5 if you for any day visit.
So.
Right now,
$5 to walk
it's
through the door.
yes.
Pretty much.
Well, for
Yeah.
the track, the gym, or the fitness center. But we're not charging people just to come in and sit by the fire
No.
if they're waiting for their kids.
No, it would just it's to actually use the.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say
Something
amenities because
besides
it's
the
not just
Wi-Fi.
just.
I want to see Larry enforce that.
We'd get a lot of visits at
Community
council.
has to be able to come in and sit and use any of the facilities.
Well, you said, because they used to have the separate, like the lounge area, right? But now we have that more open concept. Right?
So if somebody's using the community center on a
We'll go
daily
back to the-
basis,
We'll go back into the Alex days and he wanted a turnstile that you had to go through.
Oh, my goodness.
we try and be a little customer friendly, but a little reasonable. If you're coming in every day and using the Wi-Fi and there for 8 hours a day, we would say, you do need a membership, even
Okay.
though if they are just in that area. If somebody's coming to just come in while their kid is playing basketball and just wants to,
that's why.
then, and that was also the intent for the additional furniture and places, so they
Okay.
would have somewhere to go. But yes, you do have to be a member to use the facility or pay the day pass, but we do try and be a little bit flexible with just passerbyers.
Okay, thank you.
And that makes sense.
I think you answered my other question. My last one, kind of just curious, the all-day pool, like you can rent the entire pool for $1,750. How many of those do we do a year?
So that fee, the recreational group rental fee would be, it's just those, like the recreational, like the Dolphins, it's just in the morning, their morning practices. The outdoor pool rental fee
that
that is all
all-day
day, that is, the Dolphins have a whole weekend
Oh.
that they do the swim meet, and
Gotcha.
that is what that fee is for.
Okay. That's right, thank you.
Sure.
All right, anyone else have any questions?
Sounds like about time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
just real fast, in light of the fact, and I know Ms. Blackburn obviously has in the past demonstrated strong feelings on fees with recreation. This can be amended, our fee schedule can be amended by resolution. I didn't want to bring it to the next meeting, obviously, given that Bethany's not here, and I wanted to have her to have her 2 cents. So we would put it, take some time, digest what's here, and then we'll have it on council's agenda in November if everyone's fine with that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, speaking of that, the next three budget items, or the next three items are relative to our 2026 budget. Mr. Speakman, Rob Messini, I, and the department heads are working feverishly to develop the operating budget. I think Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're in pretty good shape there, or mostly there. We'll be meeting to discuss the stormwater management budget and the capital budget next week. Capital improvement budget's going to probably be tight next year, if we're being honest. But anyway, the next three items associated with the 2026 budget's a public hearing. We're seeking authorization to advertise for it, as well as the ordinances related to the millage, the budget, the capital improvement budget, and obviously, as we've all agreed to, advertise for a workshop date on the budget of November 10th, 2025 up at the community center. We will not be advertising in the paper those first two items until council has had a chance to review the budget, so this is not obviously a blind advertisement or putting anything in stone before council has a chance to take a look at it. We're just seeking authorization to put the ads in the paper after November 10th, assuming there's no objections to what you all see.
November 10th, that's at night, right?
Yes,
Yes.
6 p.m. We provide dinner. Yeah.
And I just want to say, when I tried to suggest we schedule it, thank you for the reminder that we had in fact already scheduled it.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, back to A. It's
Yeah.
Postponing that till November rather than next meeting is not causing the township any undue duress by pushing it out a month and planning or anything?
No, because these fees wouldn't take effect until
Till
2026.
January, right?
Yeah.
All right, does anyone have any questions about items B, C, or D? All right, let's move on to item E then, please.
Yeah, so 5125 Willowwood Drive, and Amanda, I'm going to ask you to chime in on this because I know you're very familiar with it. It showed up in my weekly administrative reports on July 18th and the 22nd, but Amanda, Al Cohen, and GTN have been working on this property since May of 2022. Amanda's memo that went out Friday kind of sums up a lot of the history. Amanda, I don't know, did you have anything you wanted to add? Not to.
No, I mean, that pretty
Yeah.
much sums it up. It's been a long road to get here, as Ryan said in his administrative report. I think this case is a good example of the realities of how difficult it can be to get things accomplished through code enforcement means. So, each one of those 7 appearances was, down, all the way, drive down to the county, meet with Pat Gannon with Michelle's office, walk over to the courthouse, sit there until we get our chance in front of the judge. So it's an all-morning affair. It takes quite a bit of staff time. So it is what it is, and that's just part of it, but certainly nice to kind of have a chance to provide some context as to what the process is behind the scenes. I think this will be a good one to finally get off of our rolls once we can get this contract executed and the property purchased and cleaned up.
So the property owner who we've had the problems with engaged a buyer, but due to the number of outstanding violations, property, obviously, we can hold that sale up just due to
Yes.
the violations alone. And when we have these situations with code enforcement or zoning, especially if they've been long-term problems like this, we often engage the buyer directly and say, look, understand what you're inheriting here. And if you want to buy this, you're going to have to enter into an agreement with us to clean up the property. And
Right, because the current owner has clearly not been one to be moved, so we're, in this case, it's much more in our interest to allow the property to transfer, sign an agreement with the next owner, and they seem eager to take these things and, take care of them.
Yeah, and I have to give Pat Gannon a lot of credit. When Al Cohen was in my office at one point, Pat was on the phone, and there was discussion. As you see in the agreement, they're going to, the seller is going to pay us $7,000 as a sort of payment on all the penalties and everything that have been assessed to this property. Not in addition to the fact that Pat can drive a golf ball a country mile, as we found out at our golf outing.
Almost did Jerry.
Yeah, he did almost hit you, Jerry. He was on the phone and he was like, Ryan, I think the initial ask was for somewhere in the neighborhood of $15,000 to $20,000, and he's like, would you be happy to just get the property sold? And I said, yeah, and he was like, well, I'm going to do the best I can. And I honestly thought the best he could might be like $1,000 if we were lucky. So he was able to get up to $7,000. He and Al have worked on this a lot. The agreement before you is just, it reflects the township and the buyer basically agreeing to rectify the situation at that property. In the interest of getting this property sold and frankly getting it cleaned up as quickly as possible, after consultation with GTN and just talking with staff, I have ratified it, or I have executed it. We're just simply looking for ratification of that action. I did not want to hold up the sale of this property a minute longer. The neighbors down there on Willowwood have been incredibly understanding. I would just say that.
So we have a new document for somebody to adhere. My question is do we have any level of confidence that the new buyer, do they have track record of dealing with such things?
I don't know that personally, but, I don't think it can be worse than what we've dealt with the current buyer.
And we did meet them on site in July. It was in July, and they walked the property with us, and they saw everything they needed to do. So.
And we've pointed out all the issues, like you said, in that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, anyone else?
John Jr.
Accurate statement.
Sorry, give me a moment. Fatal failure of an insulin pump. There we go. On Monday it was my Dexcom yelling at me. Today it's the insulin pump. All right, sorry, where were we? Anyone else have any questions about item E? All right, let's go ahead and move on to item F then, please.
Yeah, the Commonwealth Financing Authority recently opened up its statewide local share account grant program. It funds a broad category of projects considered community improvements. Matching funds are not required, but obviously the applications are looked upon more favorably when they have them. After discussion amongst staff, we decided to recommend pursuing a grant for replacement of one or possibly two roofs at the municipal complex. J.R. Young had talked about these strategic planning as being major upcoming capital improvements that needed to happen to our facilities. And if you look at the history of the LSA program, they've actually funded several roof replacements, including they contributed to the renovations at the Hampton Township High School. They got a grant of somewhere in the neighborhood of $400,000 to replace their roofs. We're still waiting on an official estimate from JR, which he hopes to have by the end of the week, and we're going to try to stretch this application as far as we can to get more than one roof done. At this time, I imagine the application to be in the range of $500,000, but I'll have the official quotations and a memo to you by Monday at the latest of next week. So, yeah, the plan is to try to get projects we know we have to do and that are state of good repair projects, kind of like if we can get some of the cost absorbed by a grant, that would be fantastic.
All right, anyone have any questions? All right, anything else for
That's
administration?
it. I'm done.
Public safety, please.
Okay, the memo before you states that Sergeant Halley retired this year, and we have an opening in our full-time roster for a full-time police officer. I'm requesting that council go ahead and approve me to begin the testing process and the application acceptance to build another full-time roster to bring before council for being able to replace Sergeant Halley's position. Attached to the memo, I have a rough timeline for which this process would take place. And if we started at the end of this month, I wouldn't be able to bring anything before council until probably the end of April's meeting. Get a lift certified.
All right, anyone have any questions?
How long will we be down an officer? We're down now.
We're down now.
All right, anyone else? All right, item B then, please.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight I came here to share some events that are upcoming for this holiday season. I'm just going to read to you what I have so I don't miss anything, but feel free to ask any questions. Over the past 2 years, the Social Services Department, along with the employees of Hampton Township, have sponsored a gift-giving event for the children that come across the Social Services and Police Department's caseload. This is all the children that we work closely with throughout the year. This has made such a special impact on the families that I'm excited to share what we've put together for the 3rd annual Social Services Toy Drive. One of the most rewarding parts of my job is being able to see the joy and relief when the families on my caseload are able to truly enjoy the holidays without worrying about finances, food, toys for the kids. Being able to deliver over 37 families last year inspired me to come up with a new idea to allow the children to be more part of the gift giving. So what we've done in the past is we've just delivered gifts to the parents to distribute. This idea that I'm about to go over with you will allow the kids to participate in it more. So this year we want to host a shopping event rather than a gift delivery to the families' homes like we've done in the past. This will allow the children and teens to not only pick out their own items, toys, clothes, etc., but also be able to interact with some of Hampton's heroes. This event will not only include the social workers and police officers, but also EMS and fire as well. I also wanted to take the opportunity tonight to invite each of you as council members to participate as well. This shopping experience will be called Holiday Shopping with Hampton's Heroes and will take place at Walmart. Children and teens will have the opportunity to shop for gifts of their choosing with first responders from our community. We will once again be asking for the staff of the township to help sponsor this event by means of Walmart gift cards or gift items. The Walmart gift cards will be used to purchase the items that the kids pick out. In addition to the staff members donating and sponsoring, Walmart has also offered to donate funds. This is actually the first shopping event that Walmart has or will be participating in. They've never done something like this yet. But we are hoping to collect enough funds to allow 20 to 25 children and teens to participate in the shopping event. On top of the Holiday Shopping with Hampton's Heroes event, we will also have the Social Services Giving Tree located at the community center for those that are not able to or may not want to participate in the shopping event at Walmart. Last year was the first time I initiated this program of the Giving Tree, and I was overwhelmed by the response and generosity of the community. Every ornament with a gift was placed on the tree with a gift on the back and the gender and age of the kid. And it was every single ornament. We had 95 ornaments on the tree last year, and every single one was taken. And we received about mid-80s items back. So we were pretty close to receiving the full count. It was such a wonderful thing to see how quickly the Giving Tree became bare with no ornaments left. That tree was probably, I think, Melanie, within a couple weeks, I would say. Not only that, but the ornaments were decorated by Hampton middle schoolers during their Day of Giving event on October 3rd. So I actually have them to show some of you guys, but this is 150 ornaments that are created by the middle schoolers. So they came to the department on the 3rd and decorated all those ornaments. We plan on having the Giving Tree displayed at the community center the first week of November and ask that all items purchased be brought back to either the community center or the police department by December 8th so we can begin organizing everything. So all the gifts that would be collected from the tree would be for the kids that are not able to participate in the shopping event. We do have right now, we have 51 kids on the list. So the shopping event will only cover, hopefully, about 20 of them, but then this supplements the rest of the kiddos on the caseload. Make note of the picture. I had to blur out their faces because I didn't get permission from the school in time, but the bottom picture of all those girls, they really wanted me to show that at council tonight. So they're very proud of all the ornaments. That whole bookcase behind them was full of the ornaments that were decorated, so I had promised I would point that out for them. And that's the giving tree from last year that's displayed right in the entryway of the community center. But I thank you guys for all of your support and just wanted to keep you posted on the events.
All right, anyone have any questions?
Thank you for the invite. I will be
Yes,
there
thank you.
gladly, but I'm not a hero in comparison to these fine gentlemen.
You
and
still help
ladies.
run. I'm continuing the theme of the Hampton Heroes. I have to thank Carolyn's daughter who came up with the hot dogs with Hampton Heroes. I do try really hard to include everybody, not
Thank you.
just the police department. So yes, you're all welcome to come. We will need volunteers. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Chief, anything else?
No, the only thing I would add to that is anybody that sits on council is employed by Hampton Township or outside the Hampton Township and is just a member of the community or works here that supports this whole program. They're heroes in themselves because everything that you donate goes to some kid who wouldn't have something, that wouldn't have it if people in this community didn't come together to pull for it. So it's nice that Angela puts this together for fire, police, and EMS, but anybody that goes hands-on in this and donates and steps up and does what they need to do to make some family or child have a very good holiday, Christmas, everybody's a hero in that way. So that was all I'd add.
Thank you. Community services.
Adam can come up and discuss a couple of the storm sewer retention pond projects we have talked about last year or two.
Yeah, we have 3 projects for next year. The one is we call it the Hidden Pond Dam Project. It's right along Top Nick, right below the high school football field, where we're proposing to put a regional dam in there to help with flooding and erosion downstream of Gourd Head Run. Next year is going to be the permitting process for that. Like there's wetlands we have to look at, like the breach analysis, the dam hazard classification. So that's probably like a year-long process with DEP. So we hope to get through the permit this year and hopefully construction 27 in that year. The other 2 projects, we have the Rain Tree Basin project, which we just completed the subdivision for. That stormwater pond treats 2 or 3 other communities along with Rain Tree. We hope to have the outlet structures fixed to where it's operable before this fall, like this fall. That one will be a great benefit to the community. Actually, now it'll be maintained properly. Then the third pond is the Palusi Pond. It's over behind like St. Mary's.
Like Rosemont.
Rosemont, yeah.
Buffalo Islands.
Yeah. It's kind of down in the woods. We honestly didn't even really know it was there. We were that aware of it until this spring. But yeah, it needs it's severely damaged. The embankment's breached, so that includes building up a 300-foot access road down to it. Dredging it out and reconstructing the outlet structure. So that one we look to start the permitting for in 2026 and construction in the spring. That's a smaller pond. We normally do 1 or 2 of those every year on average, I'd say.
You can't even tell a Lucy Pond's a pond.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
That's the major stormwater projects for this year coming up.
Anyone have any questions?
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thanks for coming,
Thank
Adam.
you.
All right, item B.
Item B is, I'm bringing to you this month a request to endorse the 2026 and 27 road resurfacing programs. For 2026, we have approximately 4.3 miles of road that we would like to resurface and 3.8 miles in 2027. If you endorse it, then at that point, I'll send all of the road information to all the local utility companies. Hopefully, they take it and do their work prior to our road paving. People's Gas was good last year and this year as far as getting a lot of those roads done before. Can't guarantee it, but it helps sometimes.
Do you know how much more work People's Gas has to do? Like, they've done a tremendous amount in the last 2 years.
They continue, even they started work up in the Clearview, Clarkland area. They were working up there recently. They haven't let us know like how much more. I can reach out to the representative that I know and see.
Is that what's
If they-
happening off at Isabella?
They just completed that, and they did the yard restorations and everything. Isabella, Sherwood,
Yeah,
they did a project
yeah.
up there.
Yeah,
Yes.
they did,
Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. So, which is good.
The pricing estimates that were in there were two estimates.
Yes.
So it is one or the other, it's not.
We
two
would
of them.
definitely go with the 4-to-fiber again.
Yeah.
And that's what we used for the last couple years. Like Youngblood came in and they did a really great job with our roads this year and they added a lot of asphalt. So we were very, very lucky this year to get a lot of roads done. I think we got about 5.6 miles of roads done this year, but we had a little extra money in the budget this year to be able to do that.
Okay, anyone else have any questions? All right, item C. Thanks.
Yeah, just real fast, because I brought this up at the agenda meeting last month about the need for emergency repairs at the Hampton Community Pool to repair the expansion joints where we had serious leak over the summer. And I mentioned at the time we may have to use the township's emergency purchasing to do the repair. JR went out and got 3 quotes from pool companies, and the lowest responsible bidder, a company called Quality Masonry and Tile, they actually came in at almost $10,000 less than what our bid requirements are, $14,151.50. So we just had to issue a PO for them to proceed. It does not require action of council because it is not beyond the bid thresholds. But I just want to make you all aware, and for the public as well.
Any questions? All right, anything else for community services? Environmental services?
Thank you, Madam President. I have one item to bring to council's attention. During a recent CCTV investigation of our sanitary infrastructure, staff discovered a sizable damaged section of our pipe. This is between 2 properties along Swansea Crescent West. Due to several obstructions that are over top of our easement from both property owners, we are not able to really excavate to make this repair. The only realistic option that we have is a process called pipe bursting. We actually had a conversation with our recent contractor who did the work on Ferguson Road with us to complete this work. We met with them today. The estimate is about $25,000 to $30,000 to do about a 140-foot section of pipe, and that includes reestablishment of 2 lateral connections. If these rocks are to fall in, that pipe will stop flowing. And there are a number of homes upstream that won't have sanitary sewer service. So this is a major concern for us to get taken care of as quickly as we can to rectify this. I believe, is there a second picture I made it too? These are the rocks looking straight up from the separation. The large rock on the right is quite large, probably the size of a basketball. So what caused that, we don't know. These pipes are probably about 75, 80 years old, and they're all terracotta. So unfortunately, it's the nature of this material.
So can't we just excavate them?
There is a sizable retaining wall holding up one of the driveways on one of the properties and other items that are built further down over top of the easement. So there's no realistic way we would be cutting up 2 sizable driveways to be able to make this repair.
Which I assume would cost more than the estimate for the pipe bursting.
Substantially more. One neighbor just had a brand new concrete driveway poured with that retaining wall.
Timing is everything.
So this process will only take about 2 days to complete, according to the contractor. It's a pretty quick process. We will have to meet officially with the 2 residents. We did have sidebar conversations with both of them today. Just they were asking why we were on their property looking at the situation. So they have a general idea of what's going on, and both understand. So we'll be hopefully here in 2 weeks coming with an actual number from the contractor to make the request to get this work done.
Given the urgency, do you require council action in advance? Or if there is a danger of this pipe collapsing, is that something that can be done without? I'm not sure who I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's one of 2 things. We're actually trying to see if we can do it as a change order under the Ferguson project, which I don't know we'll be able to do that. But the other option is, again, the emergency purchasing powers within there. We would simply seek ratification of the action after the fact. The only thing I would add, because it's funny, Jim came into my office today about another matter where someone wanted to build over one of our sanitary sewer easements, and he and I were both in agreement that we weren't going to allow that to happen. I mean, it exists in these older lines, that's fine. But to the extent nowadays that people are coming to build over our, especially sanitary easements, I am not inclined to allow anyone to do that, because the reality is, if we ever have to go in and tear it out, that is not going to be one happy resident. Or, God forbid, they sell the property, the next owner is going to be equally unhappy, if not more so. So, yeah.
So if we weren't being very nice and going this route, could we tear up their driveway and make them just fix their driveway because they're an RE easement? Or would we go ahead and fix their driveway?
We have a 5-foot wall on top of our line holding
I'm
up
not,
another
I'm just,
driveway. It
I'm
would
not talking
be-
about this specific
Oh,
case.
this specific.
I'm talking generally speaking. If there's a driveway in our easement, would we just tear up their driveway, fix our line, and let them repair their driveway?
We would try to weigh the options. In this situation, usually it's a spot repair, so we would be able to make a small excavation and make the repair. Where this damage is located is directly, the wall is impeding that.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
excavation.
I was asking more of a general question.
I'm
Do we know
sorry.
how long this has been like this? This could have been like this since the 1970s.
It could have been. It could have been. We're doing our best to
Yeah, I
televise
know.
our lines, but this is the one we came across that we need to get addressed.
Yep.
For what it's worth, we had a different property owner who came recently and wanted to put a fence over sanitary easement. And he denied that. He was very unhappy with that denial. But I explained to him, the reasoning why, and he said, well, how long has this been? So I did the research, and I looked back through the 1970s, we have had in our zoning ordinance that structures should not be placed over easements, and if they are, it's at the property owner's risk, with the understanding that if we have to come in and do maintenance, that would be removed.
And we are not under any obligation to restore it to what it was before we went in and did our
I would
work.
defer that to Michelle, but
Okay.
all I can say is that's what our ordinance said.
Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, Jim, anything else?
I have nothing else.
Going to say
Just
something.
thinking of something, I'm gonna talk to her after the meeting.
I have nothing else.
All right, zoning and planning, please.
Okay, so following up on our meeting from Monday night, we went over the timeline for the zoning ordinance saldo official map adoption. So we're coming into the final push here, which we'll be going through this fall and into the early winter of next year. So as discussed at that meeting, the first step is just fairly informal, but we would just ask that you refer those 3 items to the Planning Commission so that they can start their review. So I have that on council's agenda. I spoke with Charlie at GTN. We do not have to worry about voting tonight. It's not a problem if we push this for 2 weeks.
Okay.
The next item, In the same vein, this is a request to authorize the advertisement for the public hearing because of the long lead time for these advertisements. I have this on this month's council agenda, but the hearing itself would not be for December, until December. For what it's worth, we're also going to have the EAC look at this in December, but that will not be a public hearing, so we do not have to have that advertised.
All right, anyone have any questions?
Okay, next item, Raintree Manor Basin Simple Subdivision. So Adam Machambaugh is here to discuss the next two items if you have any questions. These are both very simple applications that are being filed on the township's behalf. So we are, in favor of both of these, obviously. The first one here for Raintree Manor, this is a subdivision that would carve out a portion of their open space, which contains the stormwater facility and a dam structure. And it would subdivide that off. We would not be taking ownership or maintenance responsibilities of the open space at all, but we would take on the maintenance responsibilities for the stormwater facility. So as Adam mentioned just a few moments ago, this is kind of a regional facility that's servicing a few different neighborhoods, has implications for a lot of downstream properties if there were to be a failure. They have indeed had some issues recently with their outflow pipe that needed to be repaired. So this is a good one for us to take over, I believe.
When you take over something like this, do we just take it over, or do they have to, is it an HOA that owns it now?
Yes, the HOA, there was a lot of discussion about who owns it, but it's our position that the HOA does own it.
Is the HOA viable over there, or no, is that
Yes,
why? Is that why the?
Yeah, well, they are viable, but truthfully, they came to us a couple years ago. This has been something we have been working on for a couple years now. They're running into some financial difficulties with some of their obligations towards the building maintenance, and at that point, they had asked, would you be open to this? So we've had a lot of discussions with them, the maintenance, the outflow issues aside, I think they've done a better job than many HOAs at actually maintaining the facility. But because this has implications for not just their development, but quite a number of other Hampton residents, if the HOA were to go defunct, it would fall back on the township anyway to maintain this. So I think it behooves us to just do it right and make sure that it is, the grass is being cut, trees are being trimmed, garbage is being taken out, and that the outflow pipe is being maintained.
So say there are other HOAs that have this basin and I assume there's more than one in this township that has difficulty maintaining their basin or maintaining the HOA in order to maintain the basin. Because I think there are some that the HOA just exists because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Does the township eventually take those over? Like, do more than other HOAs come to you, or?
How much would you like to have me answer versus you answer of that?
Oh, take the first crack.
I think under our MS4 permit, and Adam is more of an expert on this than I am, although I am involved with our MS4 permit. But I think it's argumentative in terms of if an HOA were to stop maintaining their facility and who under our MS4 permit, like from a higher governmental authority, how they would view the responsibility for that. My understanding is that if it really came down to it, they would be looking at us saying, we have some responsibility in making and enforcing that, which over the years there has been spotty enforcement of those sort of things. I don't think that's just a Hampton thing. I think it's just all over that was the practice. As the MS4 permits are getting more stringent and those requirements are ramping up, I think a lot of communities are having a look around and saying, like, we got to take this more seriously, and we can't just be putting this on an association of homeowners and saying, we have no responsibility here, because that's not going to fly if there is a major problem and the DEP gets involved. So in a lot of other cases, though, it's less imperative. This is a dam facility, and that if this fails, like, people could have real damage to their properties. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you want to chime in, please.
Yeah, that Range Tree probably equates to about less than a tenth of the water to this basin. I mean, you got like Camberley Acres, like all that drains at the
Fawn Haven.
Mm-hmm.
Fawn Haven up there.
Yeah, like that all drains down through there, so.
And Raintree has taken on the maintenance costs of this by themselves, even though there are numerous other developments that are draining into it. Since they've maintained it, since it's been established, they've been maintaining it themselves. So I think they're just at the point now where they came to us and they said, we cannot financially keep doing this. And it made sense for us, given the scale of the facility, that we would become involved.
So, but the township would take it over, but I guess, is there any consideration for doing that?
You're talking about what?
Like, so,
Does the HOA
the
pay?
HOA has this responsibility, and all of a
Yes.
sudden, they're like, okay, here you go, township,
Well,
now it's your
the-
responsibility. So how is the township bearing the cost?
I would just say two things. There's a bit of history here. Back in 1979, when this development was completed, they actually offered this pond to us to take over at the time, and the township at that time rejected it, which is interesting because there's minutes where we accepted ponds from two other developments around a similar time frame. So I can tell you, if I had been advising Raintree back in 1979, I would have told them to sue us. So there's that. That's one of these things. The property actually, I mean, when we initially started this, the property was actually in the name of Camberley Estates, and we ended up talking to people at the county, and they found a deed from shortly after 1979, when it actually was turned over to Raintree. So they subsequently corrected the ownership of the parcel. This was just earlier this year. I think so. So understand that there's a long kind of sordid history with this. As it relates to this pond, I do think it's a unique situation because it does take so much. Like, while this is their pond, clearly other communities have developed around it and tapped into this pond. It makes it much closer to a regional stormwater facility, similar to the Hidden Pond, or those other facilities that or Hidden Pond, which Adam referenced previously. It is an in-stream facility as well, which is something we would not typically. You wouldn't see something like this built nowadays. And given the sediment that fills up in that as an in-stream facility, it's incredibly expensive to maintain. It's not like the regular detention ponds like you would see at Palouse over Oak Brook. Was Oak Brook? Yeah, Oak Brook that we did earlier, that are just standalone detention ponds. So I do view this as a unique situation.
And I'm not saying
Oh, no, I
in any
understand.
way that there should be consideration,
Mhm.
but I do know of other HOAs that have tried to give back the detention pond because they don't want to take care of it.
Yeah.
And they've been told it's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars to hand it over to the township. So
Yeah.
now I'm just trying to figure it out, why are
Mhm.
why are they being treated differently, because we're setting a precedent. So that
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah, and like I said, I think that the fact that this was offered in '79, it probably should have been taken at that time with it, and the fact that it has so many other, most of these other detention ponds, you would only see service one community at most.
Right.
I mean, this one services drainage area of like 100 acres. Is that right? Yeah. So.
But it also sounds like that the township should have some interest in all of our ponds at some point as we move forward.
I think we're going to have to ramp up, and we've already started doing that. I'm in contact with several different HOAs. Whenever we adopted the stormwater fee, is when a lot of this started to shift. Because at that point, in order for them to claim their credit, they had to submit to me proof that the facility met the standards that were in place when it was approved and constructed, and they had to prove that it was being maintained as per the O&M plan. So we have made that switch, but I think we need to continue to be a lot more aggressive. Like, for many, many years, this was just, if you had a private stormwater facility, you would build it, we would sign off on it, there would be an 18-month maintenance bond, and then after that, it was just kind of like on the honor system, like you're supposed to be maintaining it, but no one was really checking that. But now within the past permit cycle for the MS4 program and since the stormwater fee, that has changed. I think we just need to continue being much more aggressive on making sure that these organizations are actually completing their maintenance responsibilities.
Do we have a list of all the ponds around?
Mm-hmm.
And do we have an inspection cycle?
We don't inspect those, no. So we inspect our ponds, but like a private pond that's owned by an HOA or that's owned by, a business or something like that, we have not done that in the past, no.
Well, I was just curious how you verify that they're maintaining their pond and get their
So
stormwater.
now they submit that, if it's part of the stormwater credit application, they submit that to me on their own. So they submit like a documentation from landscapers that the grass has been cut down, or from an engineer that comes out and takes photographs of the outlet structure and the riprap and all that kind of stuff. So that's, was
So
supposed to be.
somebody's inspecting it and
Yes.
verifying.
And it was supposed to be done, but like I said, for many, many years, up until,
Yeah.
maybe the past 5, no one was checking that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was true of every
Everywhere.
every community. Yeah, it's not unique here.
Curious moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
It is a strong. I mean, I have an understanding and empathy for the HOAs in terms of I don't think they really realized what they were taking on when they,
I don't think, I
maintained
think
these
some
ponds.
didn't have a choice by the developer, really.
That's true too.
Yeah, and, we need to get through the zoning ordinance and the SALDO. I need to look at IPMC and maybe the fire code next year. But at some point, we're gonna wanna look at the stormwater ordinance and make a decision about whether we even wanna offer that to people. And I think at that point, my recommendation would be that it's just a requirement that the developer, make that be a public, that we take that over right from the outset. Just don't even give the option for the HOA to do it. But until we do that, that's in our ordinance.
I mean, I think I assume that there are multiple HOAs that are just, when you don't have anybody to run them, nobody's paying nothing, nothing's getting saved, and nothing's getting looked at.
Yeah.
So I'm not,
Yeah, and
at
especially,
some point, what happens?
and especially if the township's ultimately responsible to the DEP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say it's a very. Susan knows this in terms of maintaining those ponds and cutting them regularly. It is a heavy lift on our part. So I'm not saying that it's not something we consider at all, but I mean, just from a pure time perspective and money, it's substantial. Just building these back up to what they were, the post-construction standards, is hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Sounds like good volunteer hours for high school kids.
Oh yeah.
And they're getting a lot more complex and harder.
Yeah.
Is there a grant for that?
No.
All right, any other questions on the Raintree Manor Homeowners Association project? All right, item E then, please.
Okay, this one is another one that's being filed on behalf of the township, but this is a little more straightforward. Adam can answer any questions on this one as well, but this was to correct, I believe, a discrepancy in the right-of-way on Route 8. So we have a bunch of parcels here down by St. Ursula's and the Park and Ride and that, and those are going to be consolidated in with some other parcels that we already own. So this is just consolidating parcels that we already own.
All right, any questions?
Is there a plan to use the larger parcel, or just?
Not that I'm aware of.
Paid for?
No, that's my question. Why?
The county actually reached out to us on this and said, we noticed your plan for the Duncan Avenue intersection called for this to happen, but it was never done. Could you make sure it gets done? Is that a correct summation, Adam?
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just because they tell us we have to tell them?
Well, we agreed to do it and we didn't do it,
Yeah,
it sounds like it.
When they originally got recorded, they honestly missed the right-of-way line on Route 8, so like, the right-of-way extended like around the 7-Eleven onto the existing lot, so we reestablished the right-of-way line. And while we were there, we're like, oh, let's just consolidate all, because we had like 5 other lots, so we just made them all into one lot. While we were establishing the right-of-way.
Yeah. The new people at the county are actually very, they're pretty good. They're catching a lot of things now. Yeah.
All right,
Used to be home homes down there.
Used to be homes down there?
Yes, they went
Oh,
by,
yeah.
they went by the wayside in FEMA, and so that's,
6 homes
Hmm?
on 1.35 acres. Wow. Okay, any other questions about the Naylor Avenue lot consolidation? Right, anything else?
I do not.
Right, other business.
Parktoberfest is this Friday, 4 to 9. It's our
Is
last
it
Pints in the Park.
4 to 9, because all the pints in the park have been 5 to 9, the website says 5 to 9.
Okay, it's 5 to 9, but I might be there at 4 o'clock. You never know.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll
that-
meet you there.
The Halloween parade is Saturday, October 25th, 11 to 1. And the lantern tours at Depreciation Lands Museum, I know they're always popular. Saturday, October 28th, 6 to 9.
They are lovely if you've never done them.
Yep.
All right, anyone else have anything that they would like to add for other business?
HAE races Sunday.
Yes.
This Sunday? the
This
12th?
Sunday.
All right, anything else? Do we need an executive session to talk about that legal thing? No, okay. Then I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Sorry for the rabbit hole, Amanda.